Hey guys, welcome back to the channel in a slightly different location this week as we're starting out the video. We had doors ordered and my dad was able to go and collect them, so I'm at my mum and dad's house and I've got my rear end door here. I've got one of the side doors here. I've got another side door here. I'm in the process of sanding them. So I'm doing kind of a 220 and then a 320, and then we are going to put another, another couple of coats of primer. They are Britpart doors, really good standard, really good, but on the priming from the factory, there are paint runs, there are like little kind of dirt nibs, things like that I just want to get out of the way, so that I know that when I spray the primer on it, that they're going to be a good finish. And then once we have primed it, then we'll sand it down. Leah's uncle is going to spray the paint for us tomorrow. So I'm gonna keep going at these. I don't have my tripod or anything with me, I'm just sanding away. So we'll show you a little bit more video. We're heading out to the yard later with the doors. We're going to get that first coat of primer on, so we'll show you a little bit more when we get out there. Two down, three to go. So I'm cleaning up our fourth door to prime. So you can see when I sanded it along the edges, around the holes for the hinges, this section here. So this was pretty scraped up. I've got it all flattened, so there's no groove in that now, just the mark. So everything's flattened out. What I'm going to do is use some panel cleaner, some degreaser, and then let's see what we got in here as well. We'll sand everything like we have been doing, so that we get a nice uniform finish. And then I'm going to stop recording this section because, you know, if you've seen one door getting primed, you've seen all the doors getting primed. But then we'll jump into doing the sanding of the 400 grit, 600 grit, and then a wet 800 grit as well. The next morning we have primed all of the doors. We have sanded them down with a 400, 600 and 800 grit. So now we're just cleaning them up before we get them sprayed. So as I said, Leah's uncle is going to give us a hand and do that. So let's see how that moves. Just like that, our doors are done. We've got the rear end door, we've got our two front doors, we've got our second row doors, all done and painted on both sides. Come with me, mind your head. So we've got the backs off the doors done as well. So big thanks to Uncle Sam for helping us out with that, showing me kind of what to do as well. So hopefully in the future I'd just kind of be able to do any of our touch-ups, anything like that myself. I do have a couple of panels, the windscreen frame and the front grille surround. I'm gonna try my hand at that now, and hopefully it turns out all right. We'll see. So we tried doing it ourselves and it didn't really work out very well. There's lots of orange peel, lots of dirt nebs. So in the morning, my dad's gonna give me a hand. We're gonna bring the doors over to a painter, and he's gonna sort us out. So I'm just gonna sand down this door again, get it nice and flat, so that the guy who's going to do the paint has to do as little body work as possible, and hopefully it'll keep the cost down for us. But disappointing, because, you know, was kind of looking forward to doing everything ourselves with this. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't have the experience, and, you know, I want it to look decent, so we'll get somebody who actually knows what they're doing to help us out. It is a glorious evening, so, you know, singlets on, sanding's getting done. It's going to be a great evening. Let's go. So the doors are off getting painted. We are going to collect those in the morning. So what we're going to do this evening is we are going to paint these bits. We got the doors painted fresh because they were new doors. But we're just going to do this. We're going to try and brush it on, see how it turns out. You know, it can always be rectified down the line. We're not looking for perfection, but we're just looking for it to be touched up before we put on the new doors, so everything kind of looks similar across the side. The old paint is significantly more faded than the new paint is going to be, so we're going to try and match that up as best as possible, and then we'll do the bonnet and the wings at the front and the rear side panels at a later stage as well. So we'll let you guys watch us do this. Leah's got a little hole to fill here with some chemical metal, but then before we do that, we're just going to paint everything out. I'm going to work on the other side, Leah's going to work on this side, and then by tomorrow morning we'll be ready to put the new doors on. So hope it goes well. We have come back this morning, well, actually I'm here. Leah is getting our daily driver, the Toyota Corolla, getting it serviced this morning. So I'm out at the shed working on the Defender last night. Leah did all of the edging and underneath here. I've just went around and masked this off because we're going to paint this and all of this blue in anticipation of the doors, which my dad helped me pick up this morning. So I'll show you the doors. Here's the front grille surround that we got painted. And then I'll set this down here a second. We got a few other sills and panels painted. And then we have our new doors. So we'll get these on hopefully later today. We got all 5 doors sprayed because when we did it, it just wasn't great. But this is looking much better. Hey guys. Leah's going around now painting all of the door parts. So the internal sections of the door where the door seals go around, you can see around here. This is all still to be done. All of this up here, these door pillars need done. The door sills down at the bottom, and then up along here, and then along the top of the bulkhead is getting done as well. Leah finished painting our door pillars, brushed it on, looks really good, really happy with the finish. I don't know if you guys can see this, but let's move this tripod. These lines up here, super clean. Let's just take you off the tripod to show you. So really clean lines, really happy with that. Let me turn the camera around. So what I'm doing now is sound deadening the panels in the door. So you can see, we make it a bit dark here, but one of the new doors, you can see down there I've added in some sound deadening just to kind of deaden out those door panels. So we're doing that before we put in all of our internal components for the doors. You can see on the rear door here as well, I've got that all nicely sound deadened, everything done in there. And I'm just going to work on one of the rear doors, the second rear door now. And hopefully, I think what I'll do today is that if I can get those 3 doors sound deadened and then maybe start in on the internal components of those, we might actually be able to get them fitted today, which is one step closer to having Rona back on the road. So I'll let you watch me do this. Just sound deadening using Noiko 2mm sound deadening. And yeah, it's fairly straightforward if you're doing this yourself. Some things you might need, you probably saw us do the sound deadening video, but you want one of these, little ruler, and you want your sound deadening, and you want something to clean your panel as well. So I'm using an alcohol-based paint thinner, and that's just kind of wiping off any grease and dirt on the panel so that I let that evaporate off, and then I can stick my sound deadening down and roll it, and then that's it there to stay. So let you guys watch along. So you might be wondering why go to this effort. It will make a difference inside the car. Let me go and grab one that hasn't been done. So one of our newly painted doors that doesn't have sound deadening on it. It's kind of like, it's like a drum almost. You can hear all that reverberation. So when we do that with one that is sound deadened, see how much of a difference there is? So that noise on the one without it would be transferring into the car, whereas this is dampening all that sound, so that it's not going to come in through to the car. Off the old doors and then put them onto the new doors. we're also going to have a look and see what might need replaced back here. The actuators for the glass look good. Most things look good. A little bit of surface rust that we'll sand back and paint. But I think we'll just get this going. One thing that I found helpful, because you take so many bits and pieces off, various doors and panels, I take a little freezer bag, one that you can write something on. So when I take all of the nuts and bolts and any fasteners or anything like that off this door, they'll go into this, and this is the driver's front door. So then I will write driver's door front on this, and then I know that when I go to put all of the components onto the new driver's door, then I'll just lift this bag and I'll be able to put everything on. So hopefully that'll avoid me losing or temporarily misplacing any of those items. So I'm going to get going and take all this off. I happened to pick up a copy of Land Rover Owner International. This was the February 2021 edition, and they actually have a whole spread on building out your new doors. So I'm going to follow this, and hopefully this will also show me if I need to buy any new parts, anything like that. This will give me a parts list for everything that I might need. So I'm going to follow this, and hopefully that keeps me right. Shout out to Yeti. Yeti, if you want to sponsor me, that'll be really appreciated. I hope taking it apart is the hard part. The rubber runner for the glass runs, it goes through to one of these, and then it screws in along the various inserts along the inside of the window. So I'm just going to make sure I get everything off, I don't miss anything, and then hopefully we can move on and get these. Well, we'll figure out what we need to order, and hopefully from that all these bits of trim, I'm hoping that's all four of the front doors, so the two front doors and then the second row doors. We've got the parts from them in piles so that we can take the new doors and just allocate the parts. I'm not sure if we'll be able to use all of the parts, but I think what we will do is we'll go ahead and see what we can mix and match so that we can, you know, at least get some of the doors started and fitted back onto the Defender, and then we can just order whatever else we need. Back door as well, it's in the process of getting done. And there's Billy. Hiya boy. Hiya boy. He's a bit camera shy. Do you like the camera? So yeah, we'll get going on that. It's delivery day. We love delivery day. So we've ordered new components for inside the new doors. The glass runners, you can see, are all kind of old and yeah, just ready to be replaced. They're bended, they're misshaped. So what we were able to do is order just lengths of the same type of channel. So you can see there, it's got the channel, the metal ends, and then the channel. And we'll just cut that to length. So we'll line this up, end to end, we'll measure, and then we'll cut for the appropriate size. Got some screws, lots of taper. Got a door handle. We have another door handle. Retainers and things like that. We've got our door gaskets. Other bits and pieces. More gaskets. Little retainers for the quarter glass at the back of the second rear door. We need 2 new ones of those. So we've got those in. We've got little screws for fixing. And then we have, what are these now? I think these are the door handle. These are the door handle screws. And more gaskets. We got our parts from a company called BLRC. They're in Northern Ireland. If you're working on a Defender in Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland, these guys are great. They do next day delivery, courier service, and they, like from what we have found, they've been, you know, the most cost effective for the most quality parts as well. So yeah, not just a shout out because they've been really sound, but that's them. We also got our waist outer seals. The ones that were on the Defender were old and done. We also got a new rear step. So it's nice and new and shiny. So this will go through where our tow bar currently is, and then we'll just have a platform on either side to step up. I think we'll maybe paint this black. I think that might look better with everything. So with these long strips, they are rubber on this side, and then they've got the nice felt inner for the glass to run along. They come in these kind of 2 meter strips. So we've got the quarter panel glass in to the door. So now what we'll do is we'll measure along the lengths of the strips that we need, and then from there I'll make a mark, and then with the grinder just cut through, and then we'll get them into the door. So I fitted the main piece of glass off camera. I got the felt pieces installed, and then I pushed in this glass piece, and now I'll have to fit the window actuator, all the internal components, and then that'll be this door done. Got doors back on. So we we managed to get everything built up. You see this. So we've got our doors fitted out with all of the components and the linkages. It's doing, you know, what it's supposed to do. Need to get the housing for this, but everything's closing up. And not just one door, we got 2 doors done. So on this side, we have this door as well. So I thought I would show you guys my nice new doors. Oh, look at that shine. Just got the other side spread now, so we've got this side done to the point where it's somewhat similar to this side. Now what we will do is we will let this flash off, we'll let it dry, we'll give it a little bit of a sand so we can see our high spots and our low spots, and we'll put in our body filler similar to what we did here, but we need to do this side again as well. So we'll do both sides, and then hopefully by the end of the day we'll be ready to paint tomorrow. So last night I body filled all along here. You can see some of the patches all over here. And then before I left last night, I sprayed some light grey Etalon epoxy primer. What I find is that lets you see the bits that you missed. So there's little bits here and up here. So what I'm going to do now is put together some more body filler, fill in those little bits that I missed, wait the 20 minutes, sand it down, do another coat of the primer, and then sand it down up to 800 grit, and then we'll be ready to spray this. So let's go. So I'm using this U-Paul Fantastic body filler. It's really nice. It pretty much does what it says in the tin. It's lightweight and it's easy sanding. It's really easy to work with. Bit of this onto our mixing board, some hardener, and then it's good to go. So that's the back primed. You can see all that's done. So I'm going to leave that for 20-30 minutes, let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and I'll sand 400, 600, 800 right through all the grits, and then we'll be able to bring it there outside and get it sprayed to this lovely blue, so it'll match the rest. Yes, we are so close to having this thing finished. It's been a while. there you have it. We have our back door back on the Defender. So it opens up nicely, closes nicely. This was the last piece of the puzzle. So yesterday we got everything painted around it, and now we've got the door back on. So a few final touches and we will be good to go.